Is there anything you'd say you miss about the good old days?
Well, you know, I used to love being down on Main Street, the old drugstores, Collins Drugs and Gentry Drugs, and you know, going in and get a milkshake or an ice cream. Wilson Hardware.
Oh, yes.
I dreamed of having a Browning shotgun, and I'd go in at least once a month, and Mr. Wilson would let me hold this. There's one I liked in particular. My dad wasn't against me getting it. They were very expensive, and I saved and saved and saved, and finally, after I got married, I got one. But
You know, you talk about Wilson Hardware. I can remember if there was anything you needed that no one had,
that's right.
you go into Wilson Hardware, and who would come up with it?
Yeah,
Either Mr. Wilson or Levi Harlan
that's right.
would find it someplace. I can remember I needed a rope for a fan or something.
Exactly.
Anyway, and I thought, well, where am I going to get that? And someone said, go to Wilson Hardware. Well, I walked out of there with it.
It was a great store. I mean, if you needed a bolt or a nut or anything,
somebody could find it.
They could, or they'd get it one way or another. It was just a real neat part of a old community.
Is that what made it nice to live here and work here most of your life?
Well, yes, ma'am, I think so. I mean, it's nice to have that community feel and know people. You know, so many of these people would know me when I walked in, and that makes you, as a young kid, that makes you feel great. And there were just so many of them. And like I said, I felt so comfortable around the courthouse in and out. I remember in elementary school, our class always got to go up, and we'd go to the fire station, then we get a tour of the courthouse and get to see the jail and know that you never wanted to be in there. So I wish everybody could grow up like that.
I think my kids would say that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
My kids are a little younger than you are, about 10 years, I think, or so more.
Right.
But they would say that same thing because they grew up around all these things.
Yes, ma'am.
And they treasure that. I always thought maybe they'd want to leave here, but neither of them have.
Yeah.
They've never taught. They love one. My younger one liked to travel. The older one, we used to say he was afraid to leave town, afraid something would happen that he wouldn't know about.
Well, I lived in Norman for 15 years, 17 years, I guess it was, and I love Norman, and I like things all around this state, but I couldn't wait to get back. And I was fortunate enough that if I came back, I knew the family home was going to be available to me. And so we came back and we tried to, we've remodeled it twice and maintained it in a manner that I hope my ancestors would be proud of. And so I couldn't wait to get back. I thought it'd be a great place to raise your family. I'm very proud of our schools here, our public school foundation. And so what's not to like?